has missed federal jury duty. This is a scam. The sheriff's office will never call you about federal warrants. Please remember, do not give out any personal information. If you are unsure if it's a scam call, hang up and call the sheriff's office directly. If you receive one of these calls, do not engage and do not give them any information. Report any suspicious activity to the Thomas County Sheriff's Department. In other news, the month of April was match month for the Thomas County Community Foundation, where a lot of money donated gets matched by certain organizations or foundations. This year, the matching entities was the Hanson Foundation and the Patterson Family Foundation. At their total collections, they figured the final number to be $564,152.88. Get more information at nwksradio.net.
Today will be cloudy, chilly, and windy. Highs will only be in the 50s with north-northeasterly winds of 15 to 25, gusting to 35 miles per hour. Any wraparound rain or snow showers will remain out over Colorado. An overnight clearing towards daybreak will drop overnight lows into the 30s with a freeze watch in place for counties in eastern Colorado. Tomorrow will remain cooler in the mid-60s, but dry with sunshine and light east-northeasterly winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows will be in the lower 40s, and Wednesday and Thursday will be cloudy and cool. Highs 60 to 65 with chances for showers and storms starting Wednesday afternoon through the day on Thursday. The threat for severe weather is low, and lows will be in the low to mid-40s. Friday, chances for showers and storms will continue, with temperatures staying on the cooler side in the 60s and lows in the mid-40s. This meteorologist Chris Schrumick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Here's a bright idea. Kansas deserves fiber internet. Not just Kansas City and Wichita. Little places like Buhler. That's where we started. IdeaTech provides high-speed fiber internet to 75 communities and counting. We're working to bring fiber to as many towns in Kansas as we can. High-speed internet shouldn't just be for the big cities. Another bright idea from IdeaTech.
Get IdeaTech fiber internet at ideatech.com.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
There is a benefit to building a team and keeping it together for the length of time. But that does not happen anymore because of the portal and NIL and money.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps to the pros.
It's gone! Watch it fly! Jack Caglione! His first big league home run!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, and the Insurance Agency.
Let's go to work. 2-0 pitch. Hit deep to right center field. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam to send Arizona State to the Super Regionals. Salvi leads off the fourth. And he drills one deep to left field. Sajasi's to the track. He's at the wall. It's gone. A solo home run for Salvador Perez.
Harden gives it up on a pass, gets it back, and lays it in on the same page with Mobley.
Jordy winds and kneels. Satcher swings and misses. Strike 3. And Nebraska is on to Super Regionals. They have won the Lincoln Regional Championship.
Good Monday morning, everybody. It is the Morning Blitz, broadcasting on Rocket 1025, KLOE, and BKSRadio.net, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Thank you so much for making us part of this overcast and dreary morning, at least out here on the High Plains. Garrett, good morning. The recent college grad, how different do you feel today?
It feels pretty good not ever having to go to class again, that's for sure.
But now he has to get up, but he has to continue to get up at the same time and do a little bit of work in the morning.
Yeah, I can handle that, though. I can handle that.
You can handle that, but the graduation time is in the books. We will talk a little graduation here in just a little bit. I do want to quickly highlight the weather. It has been a weird weather weekend, but I don't want to say weird. It's a should be typical weather type weekend, as we have got a whole bunch of storm activity that happened here over this past weekend. We had really bad winds, even some tornadic activity around the listening area. Want to give a huge shout out to all the men and women that work on getting the power back up and going out around here, particularly around the Colby area, which was without power for pretty much 24 hours in some spots. 3 of our 4 stations were off the air for pretty much a majority of the weekend for almost 24 hours due to these power issues. But yeah, shout out to them. Like I said, a stormy weekend here out on the High Plains, but also quite a wet one, and wet this morning, which I'm not going to complain about moisture after all. Doesn't it seem kind of like to you? I just think about this morning, but it seems like as if the weather pattern is kind of shifting. Feel like April has turned into March and May has turned into April. It's kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah. And then a couple days in there, it felt like July, where it was like 95. So it's all over the place now.
It really is all over the place. But this week is going to feel, I think, a little bit more April-y than May, with the fact that I think you're going to see some chances of some precipitation coming up here early this week, and some cooler, damper temperatures, and then some warmer stuff towards the end of the week as we get into Memorial Day, believe it or not, is upon us here this coming weekend. But once again, salute to all those who were able to get the power back up and going to most of our listening area, and appreciate their hard work and sacrifice and time. And but yeah, crazy weather weekend out here on the High Plains for sure. It caused so much wind that I have a semi-graduation story for you from this past weekend, Garrett. I got to tell you. So anyway, Friday we got invited to a few graduation parties at the end of the, for the high schoolers here. So got invited to a few of them. So Friday was a couple of them, was able to go to those, had a real nice time. And then Saturday was planning on going to another couple of graduation parties, but the storm comes at around, pretty much around the time that the kids are, getting their diplomas. I mean, that's kind of when the storm was happening, but we were at home. We weren't going to go until the reception. Reception started at 5. And it's hailing like golf ball size hail outside. So I'm like, we're not going anywhere until this passes. Well, it kind of gets done around 6 o'clock or so. So we get ready. We get ready to go out the door. Well, the wind blew so hard that it caused my garage door to not operate correctly. And so we could not get out of the house to go anywhere because the garage door only went up 6 inches. Wow. And so anyway, I was working on the garage door, trying to get out. And in doing so, cut my finger up really bad. So it's been an interesting weekend for your boy, to say the very least. on my end of thing. But really the question should be, how was your graduation weekend? I saw a few pictures because your dad and I, we're buds on Facebook.
Okay.
We're those old souls that are on Facebook, your dad and I. So I saw a few photos of Facebook from graduation day. Looks like your folks are up in the nosebleeds there at Gross Memorial Coliseum. You can't get him better seats than that. Come on, he's got to have better connections. I would.
That's all they allow at the graduation because everything's on the floor level. They don't even bring out the seats on the side. Yeah, so everybody's up top. But it was a good weekend. Yeah, celebrated with family, friends. Really thankful to everybody that came out to. I had not a really big party like high school parties are, just a little get together with some friends and family. So really happy to everybody that showed out. It was a fun weekend for sure.
Anything? Did you go anywhere to eat? Anything, something like that good, or just mom did some home cooking? What was that like?
Yeah, actually, Dad did the cooking. He made some whole pork sandwiches. It was legit. It's pretty good stuff.
I know Gerard had that kind of cooking game in him.
He can do it here and there. Yeah.
Well, shout out to him. Good for him with his schedule that he's got the time. Pork butt takes some time to cook. It's not like one of those things you just throw on the grill. You gotta prep a good part of the day to make it worth your while.
They had that cooking overnight or the day before, and then it was all ready. Just had to heat it up in the morning, and it was good to go by lunchtime.
Gerard's got grill game. That's what he's got. All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. I have to share, since we're talking graduation, I have to share my graduation story from my time at Northwest Missouri State. We were talking about, getting your last few credit hours in. So here's what happened when I was at Northwest Missouri State. I was set to graduate. And anyway, go through the graduation process, cap and gown, go and get my diploma, all that stuff. But anyway, I come back home after graduation about a week later, and my grades are posted. And one of the classes, a 1 credit hour class, like one of those, ones you just get at the very end just for kind of fun. The 1 credit hour class, I failed, is what it said I did. I failed this class, which means I ended up being 1 credit short of graduating. I kid you not, I graduated with the correct amount of, the exact amount of numbers needed to graduate. That's what I graduated with. But the problem was I failed a 1 credit core class. I'm pretty sure it was like racquetball. That was the class. I failed racquetball is what they said. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. What is up with this? But that caused such a tizzy for about a 12-hour span. So I had to go calling people and saying, what in the world happened here? Why did I fail this course? They had to go back. They actually put the wrong person's grade in my grade. So for about a 12-hour span, it was looking like as if I had to take still 1 credit hour. And this was back before the time of real, remote learning / classes away from the classroom. Like I would have to gone back for 1 credit hour.
Yeah. That would not have been fun.
No, it was not a good 12 hours. That was bad.
I can only imagine the stress because I felt the same way for a 9-week class that I had to take this semester. And I had to get, I believe, a C to pass because it was like a major. Major class had to get a C or something. And I was right on the verge of it. And our finals came in. I was so nervous. And then it finally came in, ended up getting a B. But gosh, I can imagine the stress there.
Oh, man, that was a stressful 12 hours. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And, of course, my mom knew about it, and so she was angry at me, like, you got to be kidding me. You're 1 credit hour shy? You could have taken a 2-hour. Like, oh, geez, just let me be and finish this up. So, luckily, I had the right connections. I knew the person to call on that. I was like, hey, I don't think this is right. And so, anyway, it wasn't right. And I ended up passing and graduating at the time. But anyway. Let's get going here on a Monday show. Glad you decided to join us. FNB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222 if you'd like to hit us up with your thoughts, your comments, your weekend winners and losers, which we'll get here in just a little bit. We'll recap our picks of the weekend. We've got some leftovers today, and the weather outside is not exactly awesome, but it is a big day regionally for golfers. We'll touch on that in the walk-off. So all that coming up here on today's program. Let's get things rolling with a Monday. What do they call that? Not the Monday standstill, but a Monday. I can't think of the right term here, but it's always on a Monday. Weekend winners and losers. Let's get to it.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, let's get to weekend winners. What do you got here on weekend winners, Garrett?
Probably the biggest winner of the weekend has to go to KU baseball, right? They get the Big 12 championship, under their belt finally. It was a little scary at the end of the season. Felt like they had that in the bag before the West Virginia weekend, but they were still able to get it done. And congratulations to KU baseball. What a turnaround that they have had in their past couple of seasons here over in Lawrence.
Couldn't agree more. It was actually my number one winner as well this past weekend was Kansas baseball. I don't know how you couldn't. It's the first time that the Kansas baseball team have won the Big 12 since 1949. 1949 was the last time Kansas baseball won the Big 12. Or sorry, I should say won a conference title. I don't think they've ever won the Big 12. They won a conference. I'm guessing it was probably the Missouri Valley, if I had to take a guess on what the conference was at that point in time when they did. But ESPN did a little of a time capsule for us. And so here, folks, is the difference in times from 2026, the year that Kansas baseball just recently won a baseball title, compared to 1949. So the average price of gas in the U.S. here in 2026 is $4.55. The price of gas in 1949 was 27 cents. Boy, what a time that would have been. How about this? The price of milk is $4.13 on average around the country. It was 84 cents. So first of all, the price of milk was more than the price of gas back in 1949, which is pretty funny. The top song in 1949 was Riders in the Sky. That's a classic. The top movie was Jolson Sings Again. No idea. Never heard it. Never seen it. The largest MLB contract. This is great. $100,000 in 1949 was the largest contract in Major League Baseball, held by Joe DiMaggio. Of course, in 2026, it's Shohei Ohtani with a $70 million contract. That tells you how long it has been since Kansas baseball has won a conference championship, which they got done at BYU on Friday.
What a job that Dan Fitzgerald has done. It really hasn't been like, it's just been a surprise though. He's really built this program up to even last year where they made the regional, and the years before they were really competing at a high level. And so it was just a matter of time. It feels like the way that they're recruiting to get this done.
No, it was, he's done a great job. Once again, everyone talks about his ability to go out and recruit junior college players and get them to come to play together for him. He's done a great job with that. I think once again, his time down in the Dallas, Texas area, working, I think, as Dallas Baptist assistant coach for a while there, I think really helped form. And then, of course, working in LSU too as an assistant for a while, you kind of get to know those Texas, Louisiana JUCOs, that there's a bunch of them down there that play a lot of really good baseball. And he's done a great job of recruiting those guys and bringing them up. And I recently saw this weekend that D1 baseball did another kind of regional, like they call it a regional draft, where they kind of went through and tried to predict the regionals as best they could. Kansas is, despite that sweep at the helm of West Virginia, still holding on to a spot for regionals. Now, I don't think a super regional hosting spot is in line at this point in time, but a regional hosting spot was still, in fact, they were on this most recent bracket that I saw, they were number 16 team of 16 that would get to host there at Hoagland Park, which, by the way, I saw that Hoagland Park is doing some minor renovations to get ready for regionals. I saw they removed part of the left field fence so that fans can sit out in left field and watch the game. Because you know how they wall up the fence. I think they've taken out the panels, so now it's just kind of like a chain link style fence, and so now you can actually see into left field. I saw a picture of that from Travis Goff, I think is the AD for Kansas. So yeah, it's a great season. The Jayhawks currently 14th. They may move up here after this when this new poll comes out this morning. 39-16. They are going to be the number 1 seed in this week's Big 12 tournament, which is held in Surprise, Arizona. I'm guessing they're playing that where the Royals play, because that's where the Royals play, is in Surprise. I'll have to look that up. Or it's where the Arizona State plays, which that could be it too. But nonetheless, the ones seen the Big 12 tournament, so they get a double bye. So the tournament starts on Tuesday. They get to watch all these other teams kind of eat themselves alive with and pitching and all that stuff. And then Kansas will play on Thursday in the quarterfinals, which is the way a lot of these tournaments are played now at the baseball level. Quick side note, Kansas State baseball, they went 1-2 on the weekend. They lost to UCF 6-5 on Saturday and a ninth inning walk-off. But K-State enters the Big 12 tournament as the number 11 seed. They'll face Utah on Tuesday night. And I did see some minor breaking news, I guess if you want to call it that, on social media this morning, but it sounds like Gene Taylor is going to extend baseball coach Pete Hughes' contract despite a season where they're not going to make the postseason, it looks like, this year. And they missed it last year, too.
Interesting.
After some rough, I mean, there were some good years there. I mean, they went to Arkansas a few years ago, beat the Hogs in Arkansas, went to the Supers, pushed Virginia to the brink of making the College World Series, but ended up losing 2 out of 3 in that. That was a great year for Pete Hughes. And then they got back into the postseason, I think, one other time. But boy, they've kind of fallen off these last couple of years. But it looks like Gene Taylor says he's going to extend Pete Hughes' contract.
Fun fact, actually, played his son in baseball a couple of times. We played Manhattan back in high school, and his son PJ, pretty good player. But yeah, that's surprising that they extended him. That especially this year, it felt like this was a year that they really had a good team going in and were right around the rankings a few times. They might have actually gotten into the top 25. I can't.
They were, yeah,
at the top of the 25, but still in the rankings, and then they completely fall off in the second half that they did. Is pretty disappointing.
Yeah, tough one for them. But and I don't know what Kansas State fans are thinking. Once again, you've already had a lot of change. Do you want to go 3 for 3 on your 3 major men's sports?
That is true. That is very true.
I don't know what the coffers are like when it comes to getting all that paid for sure. But yeah, Kansas baseball, couldn't agree more. A massive winner of the weekend, winning the Big 12 baseball conference and winning a conference championship for the first time since 1949. Another winner for you here this weekend, Garrett?
Yeah, Oklahoma City Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes back-to-back with MVPs. Another great season from him, and they got a big series, probably the most anticipated playoff series in quite some time here, starting tonight with the Spurs and Thunder.
Was there anybody that's even remotely close to earning that from him?
I would say, yeah. Yeah, there was a couple. I think Wemby, Jokic were 2 guys that were at the top of that list. Cade Cunningham too. I'm not sure exactly. I think Luka would have been a talking point, but I don't know if he met the 65 game rule, which I think is something they need to take away. But yeah, it was a closer race than I think people thought it was. There was one voter that had Shai at number 4. So I'm not sure the 3, he would have had Wemby, Jokic, and another one. I think it probably was Cade Cunningham, but yeah, it was a pretty tight race, but Shai ultimately ends up winning it.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, and the Thunder will play the Spurs, who routed the T-Wolves in that game. I think it was Friday night. That was pretty much that sealed it. I actually have more on that weekend losers here in just a little bit, so I'll save that back. A few other winners for me. How about Aaron Rye? Anybody know who Aaron Rye was prior to this weekend? If you did, raise your hand. Okay, no one raised their hand here in this conversation. No one knew who Aaron Rye was, but Aaron Rye is your PGA champion here this past weekend, getting it done. Gosh, did you see that putt he had on 17? Oh my goodness. I had the video, but it's not working on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. I had the video, but it's not coming up correctly. I must have saved it in the wrong format, but it was a 68-foot putt that he sunk for a birdie to give him a 3-shot lead going into the 18th on Sunday. That thing was a long putt, and he had it perfectly sped, and it just rolled right to the cup and in, and he ends up winning a PGA championship that was really, I think going into the final day, I think there was pretty much 15 to 20 guys that had a chance of winning it on Sunday, but Aaron Rye, who doesn't hit it long off the tee, but is pretty darn sharp around the greens and rolled it very good, obviously, with the putter, becomes the first Englishman the first born Englishman in 100 years to win the PGA Championship. That's a long time.
That is.
Aaron Rai gets it done. Did you happen to see the odds for Aaron Rai? I marked this. I got to find this here.
I did not. I thought Alex Smalley was he was the leader for about 3 days there and just didn't have a great, really the last half of Saturday and then Sunday rounds to, end up winning. It wasn't bad by any means, but it just wasn't good enough. And yeah, Mai came in there and got it done.
So Aaron Rai, per Bleacher Report betting on social media, he was a plus 17,500 to win the PGA Championship. By the odds, his win is more unlikely than the Raiders winning the Super Bowl this coming year, Malik Willis winning the MVP in the NFL, and the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, winning the World Series. His odds were more unlikely than that to happen. Think about it. Odds are more likely for the Raiders to win the Super Bowl than Aaron Rai to win the PGA Championship this past weekend. That's crazy.
You wouldn't even put Super Bowl and the Raiders in the same sentence right now.
No, no, you wouldn't. So I guess in the words of, Lloyd Christmas, you're saying we got a chance? That's
yeah,
right.
There it is.
You've got a chance, Lloyd. You've got a chance. So Aaron Rai, a big winner of the weekend. Any other winner for you this weekend?
Yeah, I got one more. It is Texas Tech softball. I don't know if you saw this, but they were down. What was it? 8-0. I got it pulled up here.
Yes, it was 8-0.
Yes, they were down 8-0 with 2 outs and 2 strikes left in the game of their regional versus Ole Miss, and then they come back to tie it, score 8 runs, tie it, and then win in extras in the 8th by a final of 10-9. Teams were 0-640 when trailing by 8+ runs in any NCAA softball tournament game. Now it's 1-640.
Oh my Lord. I saw that. I did not know that was the situation. I saw that they came back, but I did not know they were down to their last strike and their last out.
Only a runner on first, too, when they were down to the last strike. And then they just rallied.
Oh my gosh. If you're Ole Miss, you are sicker than sick today. Oh my. And was that to clinch the regional championship?
That was the 1-0 game. So they went to 2-0. I didn't see a score on. I haven't seen anything if Texas Tech, but I would imagine. That puts you right in the driver's seat to take it onto the Supers.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Let's see. Did Texas Tech end up making? Texas Tech beat Ole Miss 14-2 on Sunday to advance to the Super Regional. So it wasn't close, but that is painful. If you're old, there's not even painful's not enough. That's not enough. When you have them down to the last strike of a ball game and you're up 8-0 and you lose, pain does not describe it.
That is bone crushing.
That might be the worst loss, and that might be one of the worst losses in all of sports history.
It might be up there. You think about it, 8 runs. That's a whole. You have to hit through the whole lineup.
Yes, with 1 out, with 1 out to play with.
Yes, there cannot be a mistake on the hitter's end, and it's
my gosh,
that's the thing about softball compared to baseball. Though it's like baseball, all right, you bring in a new arm, new pitcher, and probably going to get the final out. But softball, you only carry 3 or 4 pitchers. I know college carries more than like a high school team, but in college it's still not that many, and you don't have many options to go to. If they don't have it, they don't have it. So,
gosh. I'm throwing Ole Miss softball in the losers of the weekend.
That's what I was debating. Do I put Ole Miss in the losers or Texas Tech in the winners? I'm like,
I'm putting Ole Miss in the losers, man. That is absolutely painful. That has to be, I feel confident saying that has to be a top 10 worst loss of all time in the history of sports. That is painfully bad.
That might be worse than the 28-3 in the Super Bowl, Falcons and Patriots.
Because once again, what were they? When was that? Was that at halftime when they were down 28-3, or when was it?
I think it was early third, or it might have been halftime. It was early third or halftime.
Okay. Once again, you're down to let's say that's the score, and you have 5 minutes left to go in the football game. That's the comparison.
Pretty much.
Way different. It's a terrible, terrible loss. Terrible loss. By the quick, one more quick winner for me. Nebraska softball heading to the Super Regionals for the second year in a row. What a job has been done by head coach Rhonda Revelle. She's been there once again. I mentioned this earlier in the show a week or so ago. She's been there since before the internet was known. I mean, Rhonda Revelle has been there, and she has. It's the first time that the Nebraska will ever host a Super Regional there at Bolin Stadium in Lincoln, and they get it done against Grand Canyon, who, by the way, is a really good softball program. They got to go through Oklahoma State, which will be hard. They're really offensive. Nebraska needs to learn to use their bats more. They had to win a lot of these 1-0, 2-0 games, but luckily they have Alexis Jensen, who I like to call Big Mama, and also Jordy Fromm out there that have just been throwing up goose eggs everywhere. Jordy Fromm, by the way, in their win over Grand Canyon the first time they played them, went a complete game one-hitter with 16 strikeouts. I mean, you talk about just fanning people. But Nebraska softball, winner of the weekend, heading to the Super Regionals for the second year in a row. Super exciting to see them do this, but they got another big one ahead against Oklahoma State. All right, on to losers of the weekend. I only got one, so I'll let you lead off here.
I only have two. So my first one's going to be the Kansas City Royals. You know, they did get the win yesterday, so that kind of brings their spirits up a little bit. But we were talking about them. Hey, here they go. They got a chance to take a division series lead here. You know, if they can, take some games from the Cardinals and the series prior to the White Sox. And man, they have struggled. They lost 6 out of the last 7 games. It was 6 in a row prior to yesterday. Just been another case of the offense can't get going. And then when it does get going, the bullpen lets it up. It's just been a back and forth affair between those two.
Do you think this is a managerial thing?
I don't, maybe. I do think sometimes these managers they think too much, and Quattro might be one of them, especially the analytics nowadays. It's like, let your best players play. I don't understand when sometimes you pull like a guy like Jack Caglione to be your, because they're facing a left-handed pitcher. It's like, let him play. He's one of your best hitters. Don't put in the righty that can't hit because, the analytics say to. I do think that's a problem right now in all of Major League Baseball.
And maybe that is the issue. I don't know. It's amazing to me that the Royals are struggling this badly. And I think it is to a lot of people. But yeah, it's not good. They are really struggling, and don't know if I'm starting to wonder if they need to change at the top position there, like the Phillies did, and then all of a sudden maybe you find your groove. I don't know, but it's not been a great look there for the Royals. My lone loser of the weekend is the Detroit Pistons. They end up losing to the Cavaliers, and so the top seed in the East will not be making it to what I would call the Final Four of the NBA playoffs. The Detroit Pistons lose. They lose in Game 7 there last night. The Beard still has it. I mean, he only scored 5 points, but apparently he still has it. He gets it to his teammates, and they get it done for him. Yes, last night the Cavs get the win over the Pistons. But, if you're the Pistons, it's a tough one to swallow there. You were the top seed. You were 60 and 20-some going into, not even that. You were 55 and, under 20 losses on the year. It was a great year, but you end up falling to the Cavs there in that round. And overall, those clinching games in the NBA playoffs this past weekend really stunk. There were a lot of really bad games. I think I actually had this written down somewhere. Yeah. Before the postseason, no NBA playoff run had ever featured 3 30-point road blowouts to clinch a series. This year's conference semifinals had 3 alone. The Knicks over the 76ers, 144-114. Where's the defense? Cleveland over Detroit, 125-94, and 139-109 in the Spurs T-Wolves game that was on Friday night. Not good for the NBA.
Yeah, and those that Pistons Cavs series was great, for 5 games. And the last 2, both are the clinching for the Cavs, and they're on Game 6. They had a chance to end the series, and of course, Game 7, those were both duds. But the first 5 were amazing. I mean, it was a 10-point, 2 10-point games, but those were down to the wire. It's kind of free throws that made it a 10-point game. Then we had a 7-point, 9-point, 4-point, and the last 2, 21 and 31. So,
yep. So there you go. My weekend loser, the Detroit Pistons, top seed in the East, not going to make it to the Final Four. That stings. Anyway, your final loser before we get to break.
My final loser is a guy that it's going back to the golf. Guy that has just really struggled here lately, especially on the PGA. It's Bryson DeChambeau. Misses the cut again, and it's been brutal for him. It's not just been missing by a couple strokes. I mean, he goes is it 7 over or maybe 6 over? Let me see here. I believe it was 7 over. Yes. So he was 6 over at the Masters, 7 over at the PGA Championship. And they've just been a struggle. Of course, if you go back to the prior years, he left for Live Golf when that became a thing. And now Live Golf is probably going to be dismantling by the end of the year or here soon. I saw a video. It's probably the beginning of the end for Live Golf. So who knows what DeChambeau's future looks like. But man, these big tournaments has not treated him well here on the PGA.
It's so funny you say that because Lucas chimes in and says, Bryson DeChambeau, loser of the weekend. This is before you put yours in. He goes, not making the cut, 2 majors in a row. I love this guy. Watch his YouTube channel a lot, but he's got to lock in.
He does. I agree with Lucas there.
I saw an article from this past weekend, and the title was, if Bryson DeChambeau wants to win more majors, he needs to leave Live. Like if you are in Live, and I get why you did it, because guess what? You could play less and make more money. But guess what? Playing less does not result in you winning more.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the issue. Look at Dustin Johnson. He completely gave up on winning majors. He just wants to make money. And that's what he does. Great golfers are not winning championships because they're not playing as much. They don't have to play as much because they're not playing in tournaments throughout the year where they got that pressure to go and play. Otherwise, they don't make any money. No, they know that they're getting paid. They just got to show up. That's not how it is in the PGA. Guys got to get back to playing in PGA tours and doing that kind of stuff to put themselves in a better position. Bryson DeChambeau is in that boat. He is in that boat. Before we get to break here, some other thoughts from the FNB Bank text line, 785-899-2222. Jared H., going back to our thoughts about Pete Hughes, says Hughes needs to do better with pitching. Yes, pitching is hard to find in college baseball. It is. It's very hard.
Metal bats.
Yeah.
That's a big reason. I'll tell you that.
They were in the 80s, though. Those were the good times.
Yes, they are more dead than they were back then. But I tell you what, it's still way more hot than wood. So it's hard to find pitching, and it's crazy when you do find a good pitcher. It's great to have them because it's not easy.
Yep, it's hard to find the guys that are just good enough to be good in college, but not good enough to be in the pros. That's the hard thing. And it's hard to find great pitching coaches to develop those guys. My buddy Steve from Binkelman, of course, talked about Husker softball allowing just one run all regional, while Husker baseball sweeps Minnesota thanks to 6 runs in the 9th on Thursday. Nebraska gets a sweep, and the Huskers have got themselves back into talks of hosting a regional themselves. We'll see if that holds here, as they are the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament starting this week. It's a great week ahead, my friend, because tournament baseball begins. Turn it on in the morning. It's on until you go to bed. Get excited.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to a break. When we come back, we will get to our picks of the weekend recap. Who won this week? We'll discuss next from the Blitz.
Summer starts with savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 36 months on the 26 GMC Acania. Drive home a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% for 36 months, 2.9% for 72 months, or up to $7,000 in rebates. Plus, get $1,000 in rebates on the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500. Summer deals won't last forever. Hurry into Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online anytime at hurlchev.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pestaway in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pestaway today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with Skyland Grain. Today's Monday, May 18th. Grain stronger on the overnight with announcements that China is going to buy $17 billion worth of agricultural goods. July corn up 14 and a quarter at 469 and a half. December up 11 at 492 and a quarter. July soybeans up 25 and a quarter at 1202 and a half. November beans up 23 and three quarters at 1194 and three quarters. Kansas City wheat July contract up 13 and three quarters at 701 and three quarters. December hard wheat up 14 at 725 and a half. Chicago wheat July contract up 22, 657 and three quarters. December up 20 and three quarters at 690. On the livestock side of things on the overnights, blood cattle higher $1.62 at $248. Nearby feeder cattle saw gains of $1.12 at $368.78. Lean hogs down 90 cents at 98.75. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $31 at 49,648. The S&P up 16 at 7,449. The Nasdaq up 175 at 29,407. Gold higher $16 an ounce at 4,576. Crude oil down $2.29 a barrel at $103.13. If you have questions about marketing cash grain or would like to talk about some risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. Our Kansas City office, you can reach Tyler Ghosh, Tom Saluto, or Jared Law at 913-748-3000. Or our Ulysses, Kansas office, that's Cindy Warner, Austin Wright, or myself, Kate Thompson, at 602-356-7800.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Ingenia herbicide is back, and it brings the most weed-fighting power per ounce. So weeds like water hemp, kochia, and morning glory don't stand a chance. Plus, an easy calculation of 1 gallon per 10 acres makes the complicated simple, so you can get into the field sooner. No matter your season, no matter your operation, Ingenia herbicide is built for the way you farm. That's power, made practical. Always read and follow label directions. Ingenia herbicide is a U.S. EPA restricted use pesticide.
At Thrasher Foundation Repair, we promise you an experience so remarkable, you'll want to leave us a 5-star review. From wet basements to bowing walls, sinking concrete to nasty crawl spaces, whatever your home's facing, you can count on Thrasher to fix it right. With over 34,000 5-star reviews and 50 years as a local family-owned company, Thrasher is a name homeowners trust. Schedule your free home inspection today at gothrasher.com. Thrasher.
Missed the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Russ Volkmer.
All right, we continue here on a Monday show. As always, FB Bank text line 785-899-2222 if you want to be part of the Blitz. Appreciate the thoughts and comments early. By the way, Michael wanted to pass along congratulations to you, Garrett, on your graduation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I did see that the new D1 baseball poll is out for college baseball. Kansas coming in at 13, Nebraska at 20. See, there's just a great mix of teams in this poll. You got UCLA at number 1. North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Georgia, and Texas make up the top 5. You've got Southern Miss in there at number 8. West Virginia at 9. Let's see. Yeah, there's some. It's just a great mix of other conferences and other teams. It's actually kind of nice to not see 8 of the top 10 be from the SEC. So
I'll tell you what.
Kind of like that.
Seems like Nebraska might still have a slim chance of hosting at 20 right now. The top 16 host, there might be, if they can run the table in the Big Ten tournament like they have the past 2 years and get a three-peat, they might have a chance.
I think right now, I think of the season, I think they would host. I really do. Their RPI is actually, I think, number 9 in the country. Like, it's way up there for a team that doesn't play in the SEC. That is really high. So I think Nebraska needs to win 2 games in Omaha this week, I think, to kind of solidify that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's kind of nice when you look at it, though, for them and like KU's sake. Those 2 teams play a midweek series. It's not like you play some slough in the midweek. That's ranked matchups going on every other Tuesday, it seems. So
nope. It was big. That was big series for Kansas. Those 2 wins over Nebraska were huge for them. And if Nebraska would have swept that probably would have solidified it right now that they were going to host a regional, maybe even a super regional. But we'll see. But both those, that was a big series, and you got to have those. Those help out the RPI. That's the problem. You can either really help your RPI or you can really sting it with a midweek loss. That's why you got to be decent there. All right, we got to wrap things up here quick. Let's get to the picks of the weekend. So picks of the weekend. What did we recap here?
Man, you had a very good week. 8-1 this weekend.
8-1.
Yes.
Your boy is back.
So we started with the NBA. It was game 6s. That was because that was on the Friday or Friday, one of the days we actually.
It was Thursday because Friday you were graduating. I know you probably forgot for the drunken stupor of the weekend, but yes, it was Thursday.
Yes. So that's when the game 6 Pistons at Cavs, and the Cavs lost that one. Both of the Cavs, they end up winning the series, but Pistons forced to game 7. We both had Cleveland. So that was your only loss of the week.
Well.
Yeah. Well, now it's going to be a lot of Ross wins as we keep going. So both of the Spurs for that game 6 finale over T-Wolves. Now we move over to the MLB. St. Louis Cardinals, they take the series over Kansas City. We both had St. Louis in the I-70 series. D-backs at Rockies. You had your Arizona Diamondbacks. They take 2 of 3 from Colorado. I actually disagreed with you. I thought Colorado might get a win.
You know, it got a little dicey on Sunday. Arizona had an 8-0 lead, and it got to be 8-6. So it got a little dicey, but we prevail. I'll take it.
All right, college baseball. We started with Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I went Mississippi State simply because the Aggies had let me down the past couple of weekends, and they don't let you down this weekend. Mississippi State lets me down. They get 2 of 3 from Mississippi State. Then moving on. Alabama, they take 2 of 3 from Ole Miss. We both had Bama. Georgia continues to stay hot. We both took the Dogs. They beat number 5 Auburn on the road. Man, Georgia's having an unreal year.
Great year. It wasn't too long ago. They were one of the bottom feeders in the SEC. So it proves you get the right coach, you can go a long ways. And I think, I'll have to double check this, but I think Georgia's coach, I think he's the brother to LSU's coach, I think. And so, yeah. Anyway, great turnaround for Georgia.
So then 17 USC was at 16 Oregon, Big Ten matchup, old Pac-12 matchup. And Oregon takes 2 of 3 against USC at home. I had the Trojans. You had the Ducks. And so another win for you. And then the final game that we had on the list was that Big East, kind of the wild Big East right now. Xavier and Creighton, which Xavier ends up taking 2 of 3 from Creighton, which you had, and I took the Blue Jays of Creighton. But right now it ends up being a 3-way tie for the Big East winner and taking first place. All were 15-6 in conference play. And St. John's, I'm not sure how they determined the seeding there, but St. John's ends up being the 1 seed. Yeah,
I hope it's all a coin flip like they do in Friday Night Lights. Like stand there, flip a coin.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
It's for the Big East baseball tournament. There's only 4 teams in it. I mean,
I know it's literally those 4 teams too. Like the bottom 4 were just playing for fun this weekend.
Jeez. Yeah, we were playing for fun. Oh, jeez. Speaking of that Oregon USC series, USC was in the top 10 for a majority of the year. They were swept by Nebraska. They could lose to Oregon. They have slid all the way back to number 25. That is going to be a dangerous number 2 seed wherever they go in regional play, I think, in USC. So what's the overall records?
All right, you are now 23-13, and I dropped to 19-17. I finally tied it up last week, and now it's right back down.
Well, it's another week is coming, and trust me, it'll all go downhill. That was an amazing week. 8-1. If I could put some coin on that, I'd be a little bit richer today. Be a little bit richer. There you go. Sure. Picks of the weekend and a recap. All right, we got to get to another break. We went long on the first segment, so a short second segment. We will come back with the leftovers. What did we miss? Well, it's a big day in local sports today for one sport. We'll get to that as well in the walk-off. You're listening to Morning Blitz.
Go the high school seniors. The tassels have turned and your future is calling. Class of 2026 has shown determination, heart, and cowboy pride every step of the way. Now it's time to dream bigger, work harder, and make your mark on the world. Remember, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That's Eleanor Roosevelt. Congratulations to Goodland High School class of 2026 from
Nextech Wireless, CFS Auctions, M&M Supply, Outdoor Bank, and Cornerstone Orthodontics.
When it comes to farming in today's economy, it's about looking at the long-term picture. And when it comes to your irrigation needs, you want to deal with the seasoned boys at Western Sprinklers with their years of experience in designing, repairing, and maintaining irrigation systems from the pump to the end gun. They not only sell the reliable and high-quality Valley pivots, but also service them with their complete parts department and 3-pump rigs. They want to help improve your bottom line for years to come because they look at your farming operation as if it were their own at Western Sprinklers in Colby.
Summer starts with savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 36 months on the 26 GMC Acadia. Drive home a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% for 36 months, 2.9% for 72 months, or up to $7,000 in rebates. Plus, get $1,000 in rebates on the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500. Summer deals won't last forever. Hurry into Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online anytime at hurlchev.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
At Nextech Wireless, we built a network for Kansans by Kansans. But just because our roots are here, it doesn't mean your adventures have to be. Take that trip, explore new places, make new memories. You can count on reliable service every step of the way. Bring your number to us to get unlimited data plus a Samsung Galaxy S26 for as low as $25 a month. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansans for 20 years, wherever life takes you.
At Eklund Insurance, they understand your unique needs. Whether you're a farmer protecting your farm and ranch, or you need commercial or personal insurance for your home, health, or auto, the team at Eklund Insurance has you covered. Their consultative approach ensures you get the best advice tailored to your situation. They shop around for the best insurance products, so you don't have to. Eklund Insurance, your trusted partner in comprehensive coverage. Stop by today to talk to one of their agents at 1628 Caldwell Avenue in Goodland.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They eat and have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
All the sports you love, all in one place.
Ooh, this will come in handy.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Once again, folks, it is a damp day outside, and gosh, I was just taking another deeper look at the forecast for this week. There is a chance of precipitation almost every single night this week out here on the high plains. There is a chance of it. So be prepared for that. Cooler temperatures, damp weather. Although Tuesday, which it does look like it's going to be a decent day Tuesday, which is good because there is scheduled softball to be played on Tuesday up here. We got postseasons and baseball too, by the way. Regional baseball and softball. Semifinals and finals for baseball on Tuesday over there in Colby. And then, of course, you've got softball both in Colby and in Goodland on Tuesday, first round of regional play. So if the weather could hold off during that day so we could get that in, that'd be pretty handy. On to the leftovers here on the Morning Blitz. Just a couple things to hit on. First and foremost, congratulations to Tribune Greeley County High School. They were your Northwest Kansas League golf champs this previous Friday. Jackrabbit shot a 353 as a team, placed 3 guys top 10 in the tournament, led by the top golfer in the tournament, Braxton Mangan, who shot a 4 over 76. Decatur Committee came in second, thanks to 2 golfers finishing in the top 3 in second and third. Cohen Owen and Caden Shaw went second and third. They were just 6 combined shots back for the Red Devils, who once again came in second behind the Jackrabbits of Tribune Greeley County. Speaking of, we'll get to that in the walk-off. I forgot. And then state tennis tournament was this past weekend. Did you know that state tennis was taking place this past weekend?
I actually did. I did know that. Yeah.
Really? Good. State tennis. I'm sure it's bigger in Hayes. I mean, although I don't want to knock. I'll say I don't want to knock Colby on that because they've got a great facility.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice facility here, but they have it more catered now to pickleball, which I mean, I've gone out and played some pickleball. I never actually played tennis, but some of my my girlfriend's cousins, they were on the Hayes High tennis team. They just missed the state tournament by one game, but yes, it was. That's how I knew that it was going to be this weekend, because they had just missed the cut. So
tough. Now Colby's got a great indoor tennis facility on the Colby Community College campus. It's got 2 big full tennis courts, then it's got 2 small pickleball courts next to it. Sometimes the pickleball courts do run over into the tennis courts, but it's a neat facility over there in Colby with that indoor tennis facility. So Colby tennis has been pretty decent this year. They actually qualified 3 guys for state. I said that on Friday. They had the doubles team of Shaw and Haynes. They went 0-2, unfortunately, while singles player Tony Yeager lost his first match, won a consolation bracket match 8-3 before bowing out in the next round. And so the stay was short. I should say that better. The stay was short for Colby High School tennis as they end up going just to getting there, losing a couple of first rounds, and it's all done. Anything else leftovers for you? What else did we miss today?
Yeah, so actually I got this video here on the video stream. It's this viral video going right now of this meeting with Johnson County Community College pitcher and catcher, where the pitcher gives the catcher a full shove. I'm not sure exactly. This was in their first round game versus Cali in Wichita at the Region 6 tournament, I believe is what it's called.
Yes, you're right.
It's
either the Region 6 or the High Plains District Tournament. Yes.
Yes. So he gives his catcher a full shove on the meeting. They lose the first game actually of this tournament, end up going to win the whole thing. But I thought it was wild that, I mean, it's not a good look. I mean, it's going viral on all social medias right now.
You're a pitcher. What were you saying to your catcher at that point in time?
I never, if I was in a groove, I never liked when there was a meeting, but you can't do this. You're on a video stream wherever that was videoed at. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, probably like the KJCCC Sports Network is where it would have been at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough look right there. Can't do that.
I actually, you know what? I should have looked a little bit closer here. How did they ended up winning that whole thing, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, they ended up winning. They came back from the loser bracket, lost their first game.
Wow.
They played Barton, and they were down by 2 runs, I think, in extra innings in the 10th, and they hit a walk-off grand slam in an elimination game to move on. I believe that was to get to the semifinals, maybe. But it was, wild homer.
Wow, yeah, they had to make their way all the way back through that. Jeez, that's tough.
That broke their 41 game win streak, actually.
Honestly, you look at it, what's amazing is the top 2 seeds, Johnson and Cloud, both got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah,
and tried to battle back through the losers bracket. Tough. Well, yeah. You know what was said in that meeting to me? Get back behind the plate. Don't come out here.
Couple other words probably used in there as well.
Yeah, yes. non-radio appropriate words
exactly.
were probably said. Get behind the plate's the nice way of putting it in that meeting there. Great video though. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, definitely don't want to see that happening for sure if you're in that scenario. All right, on to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So the Acacia Golf Regionals get underway today around the state. Colby and Goodland, of course, in 3A will be completing at the regional in Colby at Colby's Meadow Lake Golf Course. I saw some stuff on social media about how, they had these storms come through. They had tree limbs down. They had some sod that was destroyed. They had to go lay some new sod. They had to go get some tree limbs picked up. Had to get all this done in the last couple of days to get ready for regionals today. So shout out to all the people that gave up their time and effort to get that done to make Meadow Lake Golf Course ready to go for today. 2A golfers will be competing down in Johnson at Prairie Pines Golf Course, a neat little course down there. And then 1A golfer is going to be just south of us here in Goodland at the Sharon Springs Golf Course is where Area 1A golfers will be competing. For those, I always got to remind myself, so I just figure the people need to be reminded. Top 3 teams from each sub-state qualify for the state tournament. And the 5 lowest individual scores that are not members of a qualifying 3 teams will qualify for state as well. So, and by the way, all ties for the 5th spot will advance to the state tournament. So there's a tie for 5th. Those people will qualify as well. That's how you get to state to golf, which is next week. We're getting down to the very few local sports things left, man. We've got like regional track on Thursday. Then you've got state track and state golf and state baseball and softball and regionals. It's it. We are down to the very few things, Garrett.
Let's see.
We're going to be
end of that 2026 sports season coming up.
Right. The light is at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
Quite bright.
Week or 2 left.
Well, he's Garrett Wellbrock. I'm Ross Volkmer. Thanks for joining us on this Monday show. We'll see you back here tomorrow in 23 hours. It's been the Blitz. Have a good one.